Hi everyone, thanks for coming. So this is going to be a return of the Hemingway keyboard we did a repair on not too long ago. We've got this here. You can see the crack in the PCB there. We ended up actually getting a small pin from a capacitor and put it onto the PCB and soldered it together. The keyboard has come back again now with the same problem, no power. So I've pulled the keyboard apart and we've got the little board that's got the power supply on it, as you can see. And if we have a look at the repair we did last time, you can see where we put the pin across and it all looks good. But if you look where it actually finishes from last time, right here, it's completely separated. So it's a new break straight through the track that is stopping the power getting through. So we've got a couple of options. We can go ahead and continue along, solder it together to this pin and hope that we get enough strength, but it looks like they're being quite rough pulling it in and out. I don't know whether they're walking away with the keyboard and forgetting it's plugged in. It can happen with kids sometimes. Well, it can happen with adults. I tend to forget things are plugged in sometimes. So I think what I'm going to do is actually disconnect this one, take it off of the board, and I'll connect onto the positive and the negative side with a couple of wires, something like that, and then we'll run it to a separate new connector. So we've got this type, just go straight through the board, put your thread on, add on to the solder your wires on, and then that'll actually hold it to the housing of the keyboard, and I'm hoping that'll be stronger, and if it does bend and flex, it's not going to break anything because we've got wire in place. The second is a bigger, heavier version, which I'm hoping to try and get that one to fit through the original hole, but that one might fit too. So we'll see how we go with that and try and make this a bit stronger. Alright, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this is our keyboard housing back again, which that board screws on like that. You can see it goes through there. So my hope is to try and get one of these to fit, and as expected, the small one goes straight the way through. Now hopefully the big one might just work. Okay, so we've got a bit of a snug fit there. I think if we trim that out slightly, it's not going to take much at all, just a little on the sides, right in the middle, and I think we'll be able to get this to fit. Then it's just a case of making sure it's high enough to clear the board. Once it's in like that, It's got to clear the board, not touch any of this while we run the wires around back onto itself, which we've got a ton of room underneath, so I think we'll just go directly onto the bottom, loop it around straight in. So we may even be able to take this off, cover all of the pieces so that we don't get any shorts. Alright, first things first, I will desolder all of this off the board. You can see where that's separated completely off the board. Any wonder we weren't getting any connection? That's okay. And we've got nothing there other than we've just got to watch out for that diode. We don't want to rub against that leg. So I guess now we'll try to make this fit. Okay, now we'll sit the board on top. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So if we turn it sideways, we'll get a couple of wires onto there. Bit of heat shrink, and then we'll run that straight round to the bottom here. I think that'll be a winner. All right. Okay, so we'll grab some wire, and we want to make sure we completely overkill the amount that we got, because we've got to be able to put it on there, solder it on the bottom of the board and wangle it back in. We've got a ton of room, so there's no need to go too close with it. We will pull this a bit further because we want to get some heat shrink onto it. Add a bit of flux. I'll do a quick measure up. That around and up. Alright, let's have a look. So, nice and solid. That'll just sit back over there, it's not going to touch on anything. There we go. All back together. So we've got a good solid power piece in there. Got a little bit of movement, but I think that's just the plastic. I'll make sure that's tight before I move on. It's not touching anything there. And then we've run it up to underneath. So that should work perfect. If they do twist and turn, it's not just going to tear it off the board like it did. So I think that'll be a good solid repair. Once this is screwed back in, we should be laughing. Alright, well, I'll leave it at that. I'll put it back together and do a little bit of testing, but you've seen all that in the last video, so no need to go through that again. If I run into anything funny it's not working properly, well, I'll come back. Alright, hope you got something from that, and hope to see you again. Thanks. Bye.